All right, so you want to tell me again, I mean, just about how this product came to mind and then how it's helping out people from not only the level that you're coaching at now, which is high up, but also kids coming up playing football as well.
Yes, so I'm originally from Miami, Florida. Played a lot of football there. Started at a very young age, like a lot of football players do. I started at the age of around 8 to 10 years old, and just looking at football and how it was during that time, during those times, the more scars you had on your helmet, it meant the better football player you were, the more aggressive player that you were. And so that was my goal, right? My goal was to scar up my helmet as much as I possibly could, because when the opposing team saw me, they knew that this guy was a baller, this guy could play. However, that started to be not the case, not a good situation. I actually did see and know of a young man that passed away because of on special teams a very violent head trauma of a guy catching the ball on a kickoff return, going full speed and throwing his head into the tackler and did not get up from that. That scared the crap out of me, as I played football. But playing high school football, playing college football, playing professionally, I also saw guys around me, things that was popping up more about guys just having a lot of concussions and having, issues, mental issues. So I got into coaching. I got into training after I finished playing professional football there, got into training, and I noticed that this was still happening. Guys were still throwing their head in there, being violent with their head, and their hands wasn't as effective as it should. So I thought that it would be beneficial to create a number system that would help guys with their hand and eye coordination. I figured if you put your hands on the numbers, you'll be slow to put your head on them. And so it's a number system, as you'll see, that has numbers all over the padded system. It's the pad along with the number system married together that teaches guys to play with more hands over hat play, better hand-eye coordination. So you'll see if you see the six, if you see the five, put your hands on it. If you see the zeros, catch the zeros, because it's teaching man manipulation. How do I manipulate the man's movement in front of me? And the biggest thing with me was with this, yes, it's a great teaching tool, but it's also a way of keeping your head out of it. That your helmet is not a weapon; it's a measure of protection. Your hands is what's doing the maneuvering, the attacking at the point of attack. And so a big thing for me also is when I coach my pro guys, and even when I coach my college guys now, I want their families to have all of them, not just what's left. And I've seen too much of that over the years of guys that when they're done playing, because of the mental injuries, because of what they've been dealing with, families get what's left of them, not necessarily all of them.
And that can happen, not even getting to the NFL or even to college, but some kids in high school too, I imagine.
Yeah, these guys are getting faster, in my opinion. The guys are getting stronger. They have their personal trainers. They have their weight room programs that are a little bit more detailed and dialed up with their macro cycles and all of those. These guys are getting faster and stronger, and that's good, but not if I'm using my head at this speed and at this rate, and not if my head is taking that kind of consistent trauma for 12 games, right? A season, 40, 50 snaps a game, not including practices and things like that. A lot of concussions come from, football, wrestling, things like that, where my head could be the potential point of contact. And so we don't always count up those practice snaps, right? We don't always count up, we don't look at it that way necessarily. We try to look at it on the back end. But there's a lot of reps taking place over the years, right, of just constant trauma. And that's why for me, it was important as a trainer and as a coach, as I coach my college guys now, get your head in front of your hands in front of your head to prevent that from happening. If I can see it and I can put my hands on it, hopefully that'll prevent me putting my head on it.
Gotcha. What do you
Yeah.
think is the most important thing about this system? I think it's exactly what you said. You want all of them to come back to their families, not just part of them.
Yeah. The most, well, let me go back a little bit. Every athlete that plays football, I would venture to say majority, they want to be successful at doing so. I applaud the technology that's out there. They're always working on better helmets. They're trying to create a better helmet. When I say they, I'm talking about, private companies. I know the NFL is trying to work on every year, talking with equipment managers, better helmets every year. I know they have the system to where even the helmets are covered and padded. Not necessarily. I think they started implementing those in games this year. Not 100% on that, but I know that they're wanting to move in a direction of protecting the players, not just after they spent so many years in the NFL, but even on the front end of that. I've talked with equipment managers as I've been developing my pad. How do you associate when they evaluate the helmet, how do you associate the injury with the helmet, right? If there's a lot of impact on the right side of the helmet, are you seeing a lot of injury on the right side of the body? And they said they've been able to kind of look at the helmet and identify why these injuries happen the way that they happen. They can all kind of evaluate the helmet and know exactly why those injuries took place. I'm trying to start on the youth level. I'm trying to generate and make aware that this does happen, right? Even if it wasn't a serious mental injury, supposedly, right? CTE is saying it could be mild and it could be slow progressive. It could be a progressively slow disease that happens over time. So I'm trying to be proactive with the pad. And I think that's the most important thing with the Dawg Trainer system, the point of attack pad, is this is a proactive approach. We can create the best helmet out there in the world. But if that consistent contact happens over time, right, I don't know of any system or any kind of helmet that can protect any athlete from that kind of head trauma over time. So for me, I think it's education. I think it is teaching the youth athletes, right, from a very young age, if you want to play this game for a long time, that I got to keep my head out of it, right? That I got to be able to see what I strike. I got to be able to put my eyes and hands on it, right? I think that's the most important thing. But I can't trust my helmet. I can't think that my helmet is going to take all of that absorption when my brain is steadily rattling every time, I make that kind of impact. And it's okay if I still know my name afterwards, right? But what about 5 years, 6 years, 7 years from now, where I don't feel like I'm in that same mental state and I don't know what's wrong with me and I'm feeling nervous and kind of weak by telling somebody I think something's wrong with me. I think it's about being proactive. And that's what kind of really stood out to me was I need to try to create something that helps athletes. Yes, my pro guys, college guys, that's great. But at an early age, how can we create this new type of football player where we can catch them early and teach them that you are not just a football player. You matter to your mom, your dad, your wife, your son, your daughter. You need to be present when the game is over for you. So for me, I'm thinking long term. I'm thinking at the age of 8, 9, 10 years old, let's teach them to be proactive and use their hands over their head. To me, that's why it's very important.
All right, now let's bring it on home. Where can people find out more about this product?
Right now, you can go to Big Dawg Trainer, um, dog as in DAWG, which represents driven attitude, was greatness, bigdogtrainer.com. And it tells all the initiatives and the reasons why the pad was made. Um, and you can purchase there. Like I said, we've had over 15 NFL teams now that have partnered and purchased these pads, several pads, a lot of colleges, over 20 colleges, lots of high schools and youth. So I'm happy that I get a chance to help coaches teach these athletes use your hands, see what you hit. Don't hit it with your head. Use your hands. So I'm excited about that because we're starting to see that. We're starting to see youth athletes be better with their hands. Even pro athletes protect their head, use their hands. So we're doing as best as we can to get the pad out there to help these athletes, to help these coaches, teach these guys how to be present when they are done playing a game of football.
Coach Rolle, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Hopefully it was helpful.